the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour podcast, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs. This call is brought to you by Dialogue. I use Dialogue to talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs. Try it out. Just click Host a Dialogue and easily get started. Well, hello, Kansas City. Today, my episode is Air It Out Mahomes. I want to talk about our skill set players and what Mahomes brings to the table, and that's one of those things that I'm quite interested in. And as Kansas City Chiefs fans, I know that everybody's ready to see Mahomes air the ball out and go deep. And it's nice because with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and the new addition with Sammy Watkins. And let me tell you something right now. We like to talk about all three of them a lot, but I love Chris Conley. I look for Chris Conley to have a breakout season this year. So with all of that being said, let's air it out, Mahomes. I want to see him utilize every skill that he has. I want to see him roll out to the sideline and throw the ball deep. It's a great asset that we have in Mahomes. He's been compared to Brett Favre, and Brett Veach said that he is possibly the best player he's ever seen in his life. And with that being said, he feels like he can make every throw. And I love that mentality because, he's one of those players just like Brett Favre. I watched an interview on Brett Favre at one point, and, he ran to the sideline after making a throw, and, the coach said, "Why did you do that?" And he said, "Because I can." And that is the attitude that Mahomes has. And there's been some interceptions here in training camp, and that's something that's going to come. And Kansas City, I just want you all to realize that it's a process, and we will have more turnovers, but we will have more touchdowns as well. And he's going to polish his craft. There's growing pains in anything in life, and I look for Mahomes to have a few of those himself. Now, we need to start out the season strong because the first 6 games are, they're crucial. And they're a hard game, starting with San Diego, Pittsburgh week 2, and the 49ers at home week 3. And don't look past the 49ers either. With them getting Garoppolo, you never know what they're going to bring to the table. They're moving pieces in and moving pieces out as well. We are not the only team that has, made drastic moves, to switch up our entire organization. There's a lot of teams. And what's great, especially about the AFC West, is they're making moves strictly to keep up with Kansas City. I love the way that sounds. They're making moves to keep up with Kansas City. So that's something to greatly look forward to. It's a great process that we're going through right now, and I love this process. I love what's going on in our organization. Big Red understands that the game needed to be changed up. Alex Smith wasn't our guy. Although he was a great quarterback, and I never knock anything that Alex Smith did. But we moved on to the Patrick Mahomes era. And just remember, he is just a second-year quarterback and still has a lot to learn. He played 1 game against Denver. He didn't have a touchdown pass, but he led a 2-minute drive at the end of the game to win the game for us. And I want to emphasize one thing, Kansas City, about that game that everybody forgets. Everybody forgets this. Patrick Mahomes and that offense was going up against first-string Denver defense. Let me say that again. Our second-string offense was going up against a first-string Denver defense, and we won that game. So what does that tell you, Kansas City? Look, he wasn't even throwing to Hill. He wasn't even throwing to Kelce. He didn't have Kareem Hunt running in the backfield. He didn't even have the Chiefs starting defense on the field. And we beat a starting lineup against the Denver Broncos, and that's huge. That is huge. That is why Big Red pulled the trigger right there. That's all he needed to see. So just keep that in mind, and also keep in mind those here's the thing, is when it comes to training camp, we're weeding through the talent. We're seeing what we need to do to prepare for the season. So when we get in the red zone and you see Mahomes, throw a pick like he did, look, here's the thing. Those plays will be taken out of the preparation. You forget that we still have Kareem Hunt. And a red zone, you utilize the run way more than you utilize the pass. And so Kareem Hunt is such a threat. What do you think is going to happen when we run a play action? We're going to leave it's going to leave an option open for us in the end zone, like Chris Conley, or to dump the ball off into the flats back to Kareem Hunt after the play action. And if you think Tyreek Hill can't get open in the end zone, I beg to differ. But here's the thing. With the vertical attack that we have and throwing deep, when we have a guy that can throw 85 yards and we have a guy with world-class speed in Tyreek Hill, look, we really don't have to worry about the red zone too much. It's not going to come down to the end of the game where we're in a red zone situation for Mahomes to have those incidents. And plus, look at all the 60-plus yards that Kareem Hunt had. Look at the 65-yard catch that Kareem Hunt had down the seam against the Patriots last year. And we smoked the Patriots. Look, we shocked the world last year when we beat the Patriots. And guess what? We have them again this year. And I can't wait for that game. Last year was Smith versus Brady. This year, it's Mahomes versus Brady, plus the addition of Sammy Watkins. So all those naysayers and warriors, I want to squash all that. We have a very diverse team. So with all that being said, you don't have to worry about the things that are going on in the locker room. You know why? Because we don't have people like Marcus Peters who blows up in the locker room, who is a hothead. We don't need hotheads in our locker room. The people that we brought in are molding and crafting and shaping their game every chance they get, and it's just amazing. So I look at this current roster, I look at everything that we have going on, and there's no reason to be anything but excited. This is a Super Bowl caliber team, and when you hear press conferences through training camp, all you hear about is Super Bowl and nothing else. So that's really something to be excited about, because even the last 5 years under the helm of Alex Smith and when John Dorsey was GM, we truly didn't talk about Super Bowl. We talked about playoffs. Can we get over the hump of the first round? Can we get home field advantage? If we get home field advantage, can we get the job done? I hear nobody talking about that now. So it's really amazing to listen to all these analysts and hype up Mahomes. The excitement's real. It's time to get excited, Kansas City, Chiefs Kingdom. We are at a point where, hey, we're talking Super Bowl and nothing else. And I don't want to hear the naysayers anymore. There's proof. There's proof all over training camp. There's proof all over the locker room, the front office. Chiefs Kingdom is excited. Kansas City is excited. And I'm thoroughly excited. And for me, being born and raised in Kansas City and being a diehard Chiefs fan, I want everybody to know on this broadcast, I am strictly partial to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm not interested in any Super Bowl until the Chiefs are in it. And let me repeat that. I'm not interested in any Super Bowl until the Kansas City Chiefs are represented. And you know what? I want to say that that's going to be this year. I want to call it a dynasty. And I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I don't think that I am. I don't think I'm putting my foot in my mouth. That's something I feel really confident in. I see Mahomes sling the ball all over the field. Some of the throws he makes are just completely impossible. The arm strength. Chad Henne made an amazing statement about the arm strength of Mahomes. And he said that that's probably one of the, if not the strongest arms that he's ever seen, and especially for his size. And he said that's no disrespect to, the people like Joe Flacco and the guys that he's been around in his past. but he's never seen an arm like this. And, Mahomes likes to take control of the offense. He's one who wants to win games, not be scared of making mistakes. And as a Chiefs organization, that is something that we have really, really looked forward to. That's something that we've been lacking in our organization. And now we have the guy. We have our guy. And I don't want to forget about Alex Smith. I don't want to knock anything that man did because he was the top-rated passer in the league last year and had career numbers. So does that not give you confidence, Kansas City? And I want to make a huge point about this. We are the only team in NFL history. Let me say that again. The only team in NFL history to trade away the top-rated passer from the year before, who also had career numbers. We're talking, I don't even know how many years he's been in the league, probably 12, 14 years, something like that. He's been in the league a while. And he, had a career year. We just shipped him off to Washington and didn't even think twice about it. So now, and also keep in mind, Mahomes owes that man his life. To be able to sit behind a guy like Alex Smith and learn and process everything that man has to teach, that's amazing. And that's something that I truly hope that he never takes for granted because, the number one key to success is to mimic the ones before you. So with him being a gunslinger and taking chances and him really, really having the confidence that Alex Smith didn't have, that's huge. Alex Smith was about the books. Alex Smith was truly, truly about the books, and that's okay. We needed that. We needed that structure in our organization because we really hadn't had that since the likes of Trent Green. And that was an amazing team. And that's one of those things that the team that we have on the field right now, we've got some ballers. I mean, can these boys not play? Can these boys not play? I mean, let's look at Hunt. Let's look at Kelsey. Let's look at Tyreek Hill. Let's look at Sammy Watkins. Let's look at Patrick Mahomes. These boys can flat out play ball. So the excitement is real. I love it. I'm ready to see Mahomes air it out 85 yards to a Tyreek Hill. We have the receiver with world-class speed and the best arm in the NFL. We have the two best receivers in the game against bump and run coverage. These boys can't wait to get physical. They cannot wait to get off that line and put their hands into the defense and get past them into the flats and into the open field. That's amazing. There's not going to be any defense that can contain us. I don't see any defensive scheme being able to handle what we have to offer. So, I get really excited about this, and I try to contain my excitement during my broadcast, but it's really hard because I'm dedicated to the Chiefs. So I'm dedicated to the community and the organization, and it's just a thrilling way to live your life, and that's another thing is football's not just about football. There's a story behind every player. There's a story behind every team, and there's a story behind every fan, and that's a big deal. That's something that we look forward to on Sundays, Thursdays, Mondays, whatever day it is that we have our games. And, we have more nationally televised games than we've had, in my entire life. And, with me being in my mid-30s, that's exciting. I've never even seen a Chiefs Super Bowl. When the Royals won the World Series, Kansas City was out of control. Boy, did we party. And can you imagine what that platform is going to be like and the parade is going to be like if the Chiefs win? Let me rephrase that. When the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. How'd you like that, Kansas City? When the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. It's going to be epic. And I hope that all of you, have your tickets ready. I hope all of you have your Chiefs gear ready because it is August 1st. Is it August 1st? No, it is August 2nd. And the very first NFL game the preseason is tonight. The NFL season starts tonight. So I hope you all are ready. I hope you got your parking passes. I hope you're ready to tailgate because it's time to party, Kansas City. This is a big deal. We truly have everything to be excited about, and I just cannot wait. for our first preseason game. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think ever in my entire life I've been excited about a preseason game. But here we go, Kansas City. We are headed into the season. We have the best outlook of any team in the NFL. And, there's even – let's talk about Stephen A. Smith from ESPN. I got to give the man the credit. I love the man to death. He's a great analyst. He always was a naysayer. He always told us we couldn't get over the hump. Alex Smith is a game manager. Alex Smith isn't willing to take chances. Alex Smith this, Alex Smith that. He's a pedestrian and a quarterback. Well, if you heard the excitement from Stephen A. Smith about the Kansas City Chiefs, right after free agency, that man said that the Kansas City Chiefs are one of the top 3 teams in the AFC right now. We hadn't even stepped foot on field. We hadn't even had training camp. We still haven't even had a preseason game, and we are one of the top 3 teams in the AFC right now. And I want to say we're the top 3 teams in the entire NFL right now, if not the best team. We just got to see that product on the field and show the NFL what we're all about. So I think, that's where we lie right now. I'm super excited about this whole situation. I'm extremely excited about what we have going on as an organization, and I'm excited for a Chiefs Super Bowl. I'm talking dynasty. I'm talking Super Bowls. Everybody in the locker room is talking Super Bowls. So get excited, Kansas City. Get pumped, get up, and get excited. This is our year. This is our time. And that's one of those things that you look at the last 5 years and how great the last 5 years were. And we're going to top that? If the last 5 years were that good, imagine what the next 5 years are going to be like. So then you look at that in like a decade perspective. We might go down in a decade as the best team in NFL history. So I want you all to keep that in mind, and I want you to understand what the Kansas City Chiefs stand for and what we're all about. And Kansas City is a great city. It's a great place to raise a family, and we love our football. So this concludes my Air It Out program, talking about Mahomes going deep. So Kansas City, I love you. All the fans out there, I love you. Thank you for listening. I appreciate all of you. This is truly a blessing. This is Richard Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs.